Welcome to the JP8 Report. This is James Pierce with the JP8 Report, episode 368. Hope everybody's doing fine. And it's been a pretty good day. A lot of news going out and stuff, getting stuff organized, made breakfast for my wife, talked to retired Rob 53 on the actual cell phone a while ago, until about a minute and a half ago. So I had to run in here and get started. But man, so let's get going on the JP8 report. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. As we get started, if you're not already a follower on the JP8 report, click that follow button. Click the follow button, please, and then give us a like for the episode. And while you're there, and if you like the episode, if you are tuned in and you are listening, click the like. I mean, you took the effort to get here. Give us a like, okay? We were messing with Graham Allen this morning. I don't know if any of y'all watched the Graham Allen show, but Todd Spear, his battle buddy, uh, Graham Allen was going on a tangent about he had dislikes on his page. He's like, where are these things coming from? And on the other side of the screen, Todd Spear was mouthing, make you lip reading, and was telling people to click the dislike button on him. And he had over 100 dislikes this morning. Hopefully everybody went back and fixed her and put it back on the likes and stuff, which was pretty cool. But it made for a fun episode. Let's put it like that, okay? And then, hey, we watched Vince this morning after my JP's morning brief, and Haley Carnea was on there, which was really, really cool. And then she was just on air just a few minutes ago. All right. So that being said, don't forget, don't be afraid to chat. If you do live chat with us, we are. It is temporary. So if you say something stupid or you perceive as stupid, when I sign off the podcast, it goes away. Okay. And you'll see in the comments section as we get started, there I put a web link in there. So I'm going to go over something in a little bit on, I call it Antifa link group plans. Okay. And hold on just a second. Okay. No, it's not that one. So it's when I start talking about the Antifa link group plan structural change, that is what that link is going to go for. It's scary, man. Wait till you hear this. All right. So with that being said, America 250. The only thing I have for America 250 for this afternoon, this morning was a pretty cool thing. Well, it was sad because this POW that we have wants to go to. He wrote a letter to General Washington and wanted to go to Canada. What do you call it? Montreal, and to take care of his family. And he promised to come back. So that letter went out to his name is Sam McKay, and then George Washington answered his letter 2 days from now. And then also the day the Second Continental Congress sent $200,000 to George Washington for Continental Army payroll. So those are the two things basically that happened today in April 9th, 1776. All right. Man, you know what? We're almost a year away from which would have been the 1 year anniversary of Lexington and Concord. All right. But, Boston just fell. We're on our way to New York. And then everything just keeps rolling. All right. Nothing to report on the Dalmatian Burger Group. I just checked this morning, so there's no update on there. So Iran update. So here we go with the JPA report. Iran update, Operation Epic Fury. We're on the second day of the ceasefire, which is barely holding. Israel says the Lebanon is not included in the ceasefire, and they proved it by blowing up a building in South Beirut yesterday. They killed like 200 Hezbollah fighters. Iran says unless the Israeli Hezbollah question uh, is solved, it makes the talks meaningless. All right. Greece says the tolls in the Strait of Hormuz are unacceptable. It's finally good that a NATO ally wants to take our side on this. Um, Vice President Vance warns of breaking the consequences of breaking the ceasefire will be considerable for Iran. The CENTCOM commander says the U.S. is ready to go back in. All right. Um, he also, Admiral Cooper just said something on TV just a minute ago. He said something about the Iranian military has sustained generational defeat. Okay, that's what he said. Um, and he was adamant about it. The Iranian's nuclear director says enriching uranium necessary for peace between the U.S. and Iran, which they don't get it. They absolutely don't get it, but they will. They will. Um, we got another one. Covite for Life is here. So we got the Richard and we got Rob here today, which is cool. Let's get us some more chatters in there. Let's build up some conversations going. Thank y'all, everyone that's watching. Don't forget to click the follow button and the like button. All right. All right. So I just checked a couple minutes ago to update the oil levels. Brent crude oil is trading at $95.76 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate is trading at $89.45 a barrel. And the Dow Jones is up 266 points at 48,176 and 86 cents. All right. So basically, if we want to compare from yesterday, nope, we got to go from this morning. So about 5 hours ago, oil was at 97, that's 95, 90, 89. So it's gone down about between $1 and $2 a barrel in the last 5 hours. That's good stuff. That's good stuff, right? Artemis 2 has been cleared for splashdown tomorrow evening in the Eastern Pacific, which would be off the coast of California. All right. Too bad they can't just glide in and just land, right? One thing I did learn is they have to hit the atmosphere at 2.5 degrees. I love astronomy. I love space stuff a lot, but I did not know they have to almost be like coming like this right here, 2.5 degrees, or they'll bounce off, or they'll burn in. Okay, if it's too steep of a descent, they'll burn out or they'll burn in, and if it's a little bit too high, they'll just skip off and go back into space. All right, but I have faith. They got the math. The math works. The math will bring it in, and it'll splash down in the Pacific Ocean. All right. If you're proud to be an American and proud of our space program, give me an American flag in the chat, please, which would be cool to see. Right, there we go. Get us started for Artemis 2. I did read that Artemis 3 will be earlier than what they were expecting. All right, so that'd be cool. And then Starship 12 from Elon Musk and SpaceX should be going up in early May. I think it was supposed to go up today, but they delayed it until early May with their new fuselage. So that'll be good to see also. All right. So onward to the rest of it. I'll give you an overview of what happened from the CENTCOM briefing yesterday. Not CENTCOM, Pentagon briefing yesterday. All right. We got 10 after 12. Welcome everyone that's coming in to listen to the podcast. Click the like button and click the follow button, please, if you get a chance. And give us an American flag if you're proud to be an American. All right. U.S. forces struck more than 13,000 targets in Iran, including most of the regime's weapons factories, and attacked every drone production facility as part of the decisive military victory achieved during Operation Epic Fury, according to the Pentagon. Uh, so some of the cool stuff that they took out as we begin the second day of the ceasefire was this is. I mean, I said this morning, but this is good to reiterate because we did some awesome stuff here. 13,000 targets were struck in 6 weeks. 4,000 of the targets were dynamic targets identified and hit in real time. 10,000 plus flight missions, including 62 bomb runs. 18 of them were round-trip missions from the United States. 50,000 U.S. personnel are involved from CENTCOM, EUCOM, and stateside. EUCOM is European Command. 6 million meals consumed, 950,000 gallons of coffee, and 2 million energy drinks. And then General Kane put a lot of nicotine. I don't smoke, so hopefully no one listening or watching smokes either. Okay. Air defense. 80% of Iran's air defense systems were destroyed. 1,500 air defense targets were struck. 450 ballistic missile storage facilities were hit. 800 drone storage sites were destroyed. It didn't say hit, it said destroyed. And 1,700 incoming missiles and drones were intercepted. All right, 150 ships were destroyed, including all of their major surface combatants. 50% of the IRGC small attack boats were eliminated. 700 strikes on naval mine targets. 95% of the Navy mines were destroyed. 2,000 command and control nodes were destroyed. 90% of the weapons factories were struck. All the Shahed one-way attack drones factories were hit. All drone guidance facilities were hit. 80% of missile production and solid rocket motor facilities were destroyed. 20 naval production facilities hit or destroyed, and 80% of the industrial base was hit. 80% of the nuclear industrial base was hit. That is unbelievable progress right there. Let's hope the ceasefire holds and that there's no further destruction of the Iranian infrastructure. We shall see. It looks like it'll be touch and go at this point. If I was looking at the prospect of well-rested, well-armed American military coming back in to sow destruction upon my country, I think I would say we've had enough. All right, man. Hats off to these guys. I wasn't in the Air Force or Navy, but they're doing the brunt of the work right now. In the chat, Rob, will I see you Tuesday? Covite for life. Rob, he's putting a soundbar together right now, so he's just basically listening to us. So I will reiterate, Rob, if you're listening, Richard wants to know if you're going to be at the Copperscope Conservative Club on Tuesday evening at Giovanni's. Send a message back, please. All right. All right. So next on the list, this is where I got the title of the podcast. She went and got caught. So this female veteran that got out of the Army, stayed in the Fayetteville area, is in a lot of trouble today. Hey, Richard, you got your answer. A lady that was stationed at Fort Bragg several years ago got in serious trouble and got arrested. Um, and FBI now acknowledged it yesterday. So I'm telling you, if you work for the government or if you're a member of the military and you have a secret security clearance, or if you have a TS or a TS SCI, and I know there's people on there that can actually answer this question without really answering the question. But if you get an NDA for being read off of a TS SCI program, please do yourself a favor and don't tell that war story. All right? I know people that are veterans. I know us veterans love to talk about our service. Well, some of us do. But there's some things you don't talk about. And she did. Her name is Courtney Williams. She's 40 years old. A former Fort Bragg employee with a TS, top secret security clearance, is accused of leaking classified military tactics to a journalist and then admitting to her mother that she could be arrested for exposing sensitive operations according to the federal government. Federal complaint. Courtney P. Williams. I have no idea who she is. I really don't want to know who she is. An Army veteran assigned to a special military unit at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, was arrested by the FBI on Tuesday and charged with unlawful transmitting of national defense information, including classified tactics used in covert missions, to an investigative reporter over a period spanning several years. Federal prosecutors alleged. According to the complaint, Williams held a top secret, sensitive, compartmentalized information clearance and had direct access to highly sensitive operational details, including TTP, tactics, techniques, and procedures used by elite military units. Williams allegedly violated 18 U.S. Code Section 793 Delta, the Department of Justice said in a news release Wednesday. Investigators allege that between 2022 and 2025, she knew better. She is just dumb. Yeah, she's a stupid idiot. That's what she is. Williams communicated extensively with a journalist, including phone calls lasting hundreds of minutes and roughly 180 text messages, while also sending documents and materials that later were published in an article and a book identifying her as the source. FBI Director Kash Patel took to X on Wednesday, and that's when I found out about it, was yesterday afternoon, after the arrest, saying the Bureau will not tolerate leakers of classified intel. Let this serve as a message to any would-be leakers. We're working these cases and we're making arrests, Patel wrote. The FBI will not tolerate those who betray our country and put Americans in harm's way. The Associated Press reported that the journalist is not named in the court filings. Dates and details match, both an article and book written by Seth Harp about Army's Delta Force. An excerpt from Harp's book, The Fort Bragg Cartel, was published in Politico. Go figure, right? The girl must be a bleeding liberal. Last August, under the title "My Life." Okay. An excerpt from Harp's book, The Fort Bragg Cartel, was published in Politico's magazine last August under the title "My Life Became a Living Hell: One Woman's Career in Delta Force, the Army's most elite unit," featuring Williams' testimonials alleging Harp alleging sexual harassment while serving. Harp released a statement on WRAL TV about Williams, calling her a brave whistleblower and truth teller, despite reported reservations she shared with the journalist after the book was published. Former Delta Force operators disclose national defense information on podcasts and YouTube shows every day, but the government is going after Courtney for sole reason that she exposed sexual harassment and gender discrimination in the unit. This is a vindictive act of retaliation, plain and simple. I don't believe that, Mr. Hart. You're a lying idiot. Um, the the Army gives you avenues to report sexual harassment in the military. Believe me. Uh, the published materials, according to the government, contain classified information at the secret level and no foreign restrictions, meaning no authorized for release to foreign nationals, raising concerns it could be accessed by U.S. adversaries. Clearance holders accept a solemn obligation to protect the classified information entrusted to them, and Assistant Attorney General for National Security John Eisenberg said in the DOJ release. They do so is critical to the security of our nation. When clearance holders violate that trust, the National Security Division will act swiftly and hold them accountable. Evidence outlined in the complaint includes messages indicating Williams mailed a thumb drive containing materials to the journalist, as well as saved files on her computer labeled Batch 1 for Reporter and similar titles, suggesting an organized effort to provide information. On the day the article and book was published, Williams allegedly texted journalists expressing concern about the scope of the disclosure, writing that she was troubled about the amount of classified information being disclosed and that it felt like an entire TTP was out sent in my name. In an apparent conversation with her mother, Williams allegedly acknowledged the legal risk more directly. I might actually get arrested. I don't even get a free copy of the book. Oh my goodness, that was good. I might actually get arrested, and I don't even get a free copy of the book. You know, while she's in jail, she might be able to check the book out of the jail library. That's a joke. That's a joke. Okay, guys, that's a joke. She's probably in solitary confinement. Authorities say Williams had signed multiple non-disclosure agreements during her time working with the military unit and was explicitly warned that unauthorized disclosure of classified materials would violate federal law. The complaint also notes that the leaked information could pose serious risk, including exposing military personnel to danger and compromising operations if adversaries study the disclosed tactics. The tradecraft, tactics, and techniques used by the U.S. military unit in this case are classified and should only be shared with those with proper clearances and a need to know in order to protect American lives and safeguard classified national defense information, said Reed Davis, special agent in charge for the FBI in North Carolina. These are serious accusations. Anyone divulging information they vow to protect to a reporter for publication in reckless, self-serving damages our national security. Authorities say Williams had signed multiple non-disclosure agreements, or NDAs, and was warned that releasing classified material could violate federal law. So the FBI Charlotte field office is investigating the case with valuable assistance provided by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of North Carolina. Wow. Wow. I'm telling you. But I'm telling you, this whole article, the one thing that really, I might actually get arrested and I don't even get a free copy of the book. Oh my goodness, man. That's stupid, all caps, right? Stupid and dumb, all caps. I mean, I'd like to know what Rob thinks about that. But, man, I tell you, look, if you've ever been in that environment in the world, in the Army, I'm talking about, and I expanded on this a little bit this morning, and I know I'm chasing a rabbit right now, but I did hold one of those clearances, and I've signed several NDAs, and I know that you need to watch what you say and what you write and what you do. I mean, there's things I have to carry. Uh, Covite for life. She probably thought her book dealer would protect her. And he threw her to the wolves, guy. But where was I going on this? Yeah, there's some. I know there's stuff that I know. So when you're in the Army and you go to these programs, right? These special programs, they read you in. So when you're in, you're in. And when you have no more valuable input in the project, you need to go do something else, they'll read you out. And when they read you out, they give you NDA. So you know that you cannot talk with. And there's different levels of NDAs. You got 25 years, 50 years, and then they got lifetime, right? When they say, you will never disclose stuff from this program. That means after you die, I know God knows everything you've done in your entire life, good and bad, but you still don't even talk about it then, right? I'm being facetious, but that what they mean is you take it to your grave. And when I can tell you, I used to, at one place where I used to be, since we're talking about this now, I was stationed in this one place. We weren't even allowed to have a camera with us, and we couldn't have a cell phone with a camera on it either. We had to have those flip phones that you could flip and talk, and that's all. That's all at all. We could not even bring laptops in and hook them to the network inside of where I was at because it would compromise us. And it was a never-ending battle. Let's put it like this. You see this right here? It's a wireless mouse, right? We were not even authorized to have a wireless mouse or a wireless headset or a wireless keyboard. I mean, I have a wireless keyboard right here, but I'm not processing sensitive or classified information, right? So you don't want, that means the adversary can't count keystrokes and stuff from your keyboard because all they have to do is intercept the radio signal somehow going between here and my tower here, right? But they can do that stuff. So eliminate any instance of them compromising you. You maintain wired mice, wired keyboards, in during your duty day. I mean, you can't even put a flash drive in a computer system at all. It has to go through a sterile environment, make sure there's nothing on it, just to make sure you don't take classified files and put them on a zip. You don't go from a zipper to a nipper and process information. I mean, I may be boring some of y'all. This is this will get people killed, especially where she was at with Delta Force. I don't know what kind of work she did for them. I don't know if she was an Intel analyst or whatever. It doesn't say what her MOS actually was. But what I'm saying is, loose lips sink ships, and she blew a serious, huge hole in the side of the USS Abraham Lincoln. Let's put it plain and simple. The hole she blew, because I mean, I could get the article back again. We could go back through it, but she had files and files and files of classified information. And you know what the sad part about it is? Besides her not getting a free copy of the book, she didn't make a single dime on doing this. She just flapped her gums for hundreds of minutes on cell phones and text messages, and she did not make not one dime of what she was doing. All she did was talk and talk and talk. And the fact is that she was talking to someone that was employed with Politico, with the fact that she's probably a liberal. I'm not saying she is, but anyone that does business with Politico is definitely not a conservative. That man. I don't know. Rob, do you have any feedback on this? Or besides she's just plain stupid idiot, that she deserves to go to jail for many, many decades for what she was doing? She could have got special, a Special Forces Operation Detachment Alpha, which is the Delta Force detachment. She could have got them several members of that organization dead. Like Dan Bongino says, don't get dead. Don't get dead. Don't present that opportunity to get dead. If she had allegations of sexual harassment against members of this team, she should have brought it through her chain of command. Flat out. Flat out. Graham Allen, this morning, he was saying, this is the reason why you don't put women in male units in that environment. That's what he says. I personally think the one that can do the job the best should be there, right? But maybe he's saying something. He keeps the job environment clean. I don't know. But the fact is, she knowingly compromised our national security and security that Special Forces team by opening her mouth and giving up documents detailing how they do things. All right. I hope that makes sense, because, man, I tell you, that is serious stuff right there. Did no one wrote me? All right. So next thing is, we're going to Virginia. We're going one state north of North Carolina. We're going to stop in Virginia. All righty. So we're talking about Abigail Spanberger, one of my most favorite people in the world to talk about. I call her the Secretary General because she's a flaming communist, right? So I got to read this. Glenn Youngkin called her pathetic for what she did. So Virginia's Democrat governor, or Secretary General, Abigail Spanberger, took credit for billions in economic achievements secured under her GOP predecessor, earning her backlash from Republican leaders and representatives running the state before she got there. Spanberger touted, oh, you know what? She's a former CIA agent, so she's got this one down packed, right? Spanberger touted signing legislation. Spanberger touted signing legislation that authorized 4 separate investments in aerospace, energy, pharmaceutical industries earlier this week. The investments, according to a press release from Spanberger's office, would welcome 3,250 new jobs and $7.1 billion in business investment in the state. From my very first day in office, I have been working to create a stable business environment so companies can hire, expand, and continue to invest in our Commonwealth. Spanberger said it in a press release. I am signing these bills into law so we can continue to grow Virginia's economy and create opportunities for Virginians. However, that should be made all caps. However, Spanberger's signature was effectively just a formality, as the details she touted were part of previous Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin's broader push to spur economic development as governor of Virginia, which included a record $156 billion in total CEO commitments during his term. And as he was exiting office, the former GOP governor garnered more than previous 6 gubernatorial administrations combined, according to a press release from Youngkin's team. She's trying to take credit for somebody else's work, former Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares told Fox News. In grade school, we call that cheating. The last 3 months have been nothing but horrible news for Virginians, as Abigail Spanberger broke every single promise she made on the campaign trail and now has the lowest approval rating of any Virginia governor this century. And we're a quarter of the way through it. Spokesperson Justin Disco said, Governor Youngkin is happy that Virginians are being reminded of some good news, even if it means the Secretary General Spanberger taking credit for economic deals he secured for the Commonwealth. Spanberger did not respond to Fox News' request for further comment on the matter. The 4 bills she signed, which with her signature authorized the awards and announcing during Youngkin's term as governor. The first bill, HB 1531, allocates $530 million to an aerospace company called Avio USA and is expected to create 1,500 jobs. The next bill, HB 799, was another $457 million and is expected to create 825 jobs. The next bill was HB 800, allocating $2 billion to Eli Lilly and expected to create 450 jobs to manufacture active ingredient in major cancer. And then the last bill is HB 1076, which invested $4 billion in pharmaceutical company AstraZeneca and expected to create 500 jobs. And that was announced in October 2025. All 4 of those bills she did the formal signature on was passed and authorized while Glenn Youngkin was still governor, right? Do I really want to quote anything? How y'all doing under? I'm having too much fun. This lady, anyone from the Democratic People's Republic of Virginia want to chime in on what we're talking about right now? This is crazy. Critics of Spanberger have questioned the moderate campaign message she campaigned on, as well as her economic strategy, which included ushering new taxes in the state despite campaigning on a message of affordability. Abigail Spanberger's first 100 days in office has been a disaster when it comes to economic development, argued Miyares. He used to be the Attorney General. 3 pillars of good business environment is a good tax environment, a good regulatory environment, and an environment that, from litigation perspective, is not anti-business. Oh my goodness, man. She just needs to go. If you don't know anything about Abigail Spanberger and you're listening to this, she had the legislature produce a bill they're in the middle of early voting on, and the actual vote date is April 21st. So if you're living in Virginia and you have yet to vote on the um, if you have yet to vote on the redistricting referendum, go vote no and go 10, 10, 10. Vote no, bring 10 people to the polls with you, text 10 people, and then call 10 people. Get people out there to vote no on this referendum. Y'all have a nonpartisan commission to for redistricting once every 10 years, and she is trying to destroy a law that y'all passed just a few years ago. Just like the one in California, I say that's unconstitutional also, because it's once every 10 years. And here in Texas, we don't have that law. That's why we were able to do it. But you change the law, you change the rules because you don't like the outcome. That's it. That's it, right? So I would call that flat out cheating. So the Secretary General of the Democratic People's Republic of Virginia, Abigail Spanberger, is a cheater. Cheater, cheater, pumpkin eater. Man, I tell you. Oh, man. All right. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is all the rage of the news that's going on this morning and yesterday. Because people actually think the president is going to activate the Selective Service System. And you may say, what is the Selective Service System? Well, that's the draft. Every male in our country since 1980 has been required to register within 30 days of their 18th birthday. That's a male, okay? That's not a female identifying as a male. That's not an XYX or whatever they call these people, right? If you were born a male, you're required by law to register for the Selective Service within 30 days of turning 18 years old. All right? For the military draft, only Congress can actually activate the draft. So I'm going to read a little bit about that in just a second. So this all stems from the deal that came out on the 18th of December of this year. The people enrolling in the Selective Service will be automatic. All males, when they turn 18, will be automatically enrolled in the Selective Service System due to the National Defense Authorization Act that was signed. The federal government plans to automatically register eligible men for the draft beginning in December 18th, according to a proposed rule published last week. The Selective Service System, the government agency that maintains a database of draft-eligible Americans, submitted the automatic registration rule change in the Office of Information Regulatory Affairs on March 30th. Congress approved automatic registration for the draft last December as part of the 2026 NDAA, must pass legislation that authorizes funding for the military personnel and operations. This statutory change transfers responsibility for registration from individual men to the Selective Service System through the integration with federal data resources. The agency notes on its website, the Selective Service System will implement the change by December 2026, like I said, December 18th, resulting in the streamlined registration process and corresponding workforce realignment. Under federal law, most males between 18 and 25 years old are already required to register with the Selective Service System in case the military draft is authorized. Men are expected to register within 30 days of the 18th birthday, but the agency accepts late registrations until 26 years old. If you don't register for selective service, it's a felony. Failing to register is a felony. Non-registrants face a fine up to $250,000 or 5 years in prison and could be denied student loans, government jobs, including federal, state, and local, and U.S. citizenship if they're immigrants. Currently, 46 states and territories have laws in place to automatically register eligible men. So it's already happening around the country. In 2024, the Selective Service reported in Congress that registration rates declined in recent years, dropping to 84% of eligible men in 2023 to 81%. And Congresswoman Houlihan from Pennsylvania, she sponsored automatic draft legislation in 2026, but she's a Democrat. So don't blame the Republicans for this. She was a Democrat. It's got to be spam because people know not to call me during my podcast. So a Democrat sponsored the draft bill and argued that it would save taxpayers money. This will allow us to rededicate resources, basically that means money, toward readiness and toward mobilization rather than towards education, advertising campaigns driven to register people. And then we've hadn't had a draft since Vietnam, and that's all. So to supplement that, wait till trans community hears about this. He's talking about when I said if you were born a male, you're required to register for the draft. Now it's automatic, right? Oh my goodness. Hey, Richard, that's awesome. I like that. Hey, Covite for life. Too bad you can't go back to putting the Covite and then the number 4 than life on it. I like that one better. All right. So this is how the draft actually works. Okay. And I got this off Wikipedia. And don't go ballistic. It's still, you don't use it in term papers. Okay. The description below is for a general draft under the current Selective Service regulations. Any and all these procedures could be changed by Congress as part of the same legislation that would authorize inductions. Through separate legislation, there is no guarantee that this is how the draft would actually work. Now, let me school you on something. President Trump cannot automatically draft your child at all. He can't because it's got to be authorized by Congress. All right? So all these bleeding heart liberals out there that are out there like saying, my son is going to get drafted by President Trump. Oh, they're not even calling him President Trump. They're calling him the evil orange man or something, right? But only Congress can authorize the existence of, it's got to go through like a bill, a draft bill. And then the president's got to authorize it with his signature, right? It's got to go through Congress. He cannot draft anybody, all right? So Congress and the president authorize a draft. The president proclaims a crisis has occurred, requiring more troops than the volunteer military can supply. Congress passes. I don't believe that. Congress passes and the president signs legislation which revises the military selective service to initiate a draft for military manpower. Okay? How to do a bill on Capitol Hill, right? The lottery. The lottery is based on birthdays, and this will throw all y'all for a loop. I don't even think the people watching this even know this one. All right? The lottery. A lottery based on birthdays determines the order in which registered men, not women, registered men are called up by the Selective Service. The first to be called in the sequence determined by the lottery will be men whose 20th birthday falls during the calendar year the induction takes place, followed as needed by those aged 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and then age 19, and then age 18. So 20 all the way to 25, back down to 19, and if needed, 18 years old. Draft does not start at 18 and goes its ways up. It starts at 20 to 25, then 19 or 18. Did y'all know about that? Someone answer, please. All right. All parts of the Selective Service are activated. The agency activates and orders the state directors and reserve force officers to report to duty. And then mental health, physical, and moral evaluations of registrants with low lottery. They go to maps, they get physical, they determine if they're able to serve. And then the local and appeal board is activated, induction notice is sent. Local and appeal boards will begin processing registrants, claims, and appeals. Those who pass MEPS will receive induction orders. An inductee will have 10 days to report to a local MEPS for induction. The first draftees are inducted according to current plans. Secret Service must deliver the first inductees to the military within 193 days from the onset of a crisis. 6 full months from the time the bill is passed till the first basic trainee reports for basic training. Age 20 to 25, then 19, then 18. Now you know about what the process is of getting drafted. All right? Man, I tell you, shoo. I learned that when I was a recruiter, and I was totally flabbergasted when I found out that I always thought when you were drafted, you started at age 18 to get drafted, but it's age 20. All right, it gives your child a chance to go to college if they want, right? Or take a quick run and move out toward Canada so they can't get drafted. I don't think that's even going to save them. All right, so no free buses. So Mayor Mamdani in New York City, his number one campaign promise was to make sure that everybody got free bus and free subway throughout the city of New York. That's how he got elected, probably. I got this off the New York Post. Zoran Mamdani backs down on cornerstone campaign promise of free New York City buses. Slam the brakes. Mayor Mamdani appears to have conceded that he won't be able to deliver his promise of free buses this year, despite being a cornerstone of his campaign. Mamdani's highly touted demands for free buses has fallen on the wayside in both state and city budget proposals. Now, Hisner is focusing on, whatever that means, is bringing back a fare free bus pilot program. Politico, another one, is in an admission that New Yorkers could have to wait for the citywide no-cost transport. Both legislative houses, including language within their one house Man, this is crazy. All right, I need to relax a little bit. All right, so here's the deal. If you believe you were going to get free buses in New York City, you better get yourself a bus card because you're going to have to pay, right? Take that to the bank when you go voting for mayor next time, and he says, I want to get your vote again. Don't. He's a communist, and communists lie through their teeth. We're at 12:55 already. Man. All right. So I'm never going to get to these other ones, man. If you're looking in, I'm going to go a little bit over time. Hold on. I need a break for a second. Hold on just a second here. Just a second here. I'm going to do an ad read real quick, okay? Just a second. I want to read about Rumble Wallet. Okay. They can freeze your accounts. They can shut off your cards, lock you out of your own money overnight. Banks don't protect you, they control you. That's why real financial freedom starts with ownership. Introducing Rumble Wallet, a non custodial wallet built for people who refuse to give up control. With Rumble Wallet, you don't just buy digital currency like Bitcoin and Tether. You can own Tether Gold, real gold, or on the blockchain. Through Tether Gold, you get direct ownership of physical gold bars, each one fully allocated, verifiable by serial number, purity, and weight. This isn't paper gold. This isn't IOU. This is real gold without bank vaults, storage fees, or gatekeepers. You can buy, sell, or move it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even when traditional gold markets are closed. And if you want, Tether Gold can be redeemed for physical gold. That's power. When you support creators on Rumble, you can tip them directly using Rumble Wallet, peer-to-peer, and outside the banking system. No permissions, no middlemen, no cancel button. This wallet is yours forever. All right. Thank you for letting me do that. Okay, because I use Rumble Wallet, and I invite you to do it also. Okay, it's free. All right. Um, while we're on borrowed time here, um, so inside Antifa-linked groups plan to structurally change the U.S. as May Day unrest approaches. A far left, and this, if you look in the comments, the first comment in there has a hyperlink in there, and the slides I'm going to be talking about in just a second, it's all in there. All right. A far left activist group with ties to anti-ICE, Antifa, and broader left-wing organizing is openly calling for a political revolution and a sweeping overhaul of the American system that includes pressure on college campuses according to newly obtained training materials. Slides from a March 2026 Sunrise Movement membership meeting obtained by Defending Education lay out a vision of structurally change the foundations of this country in pursuit of social eco-socialism and multiracial democracy. The internal presentation outlines what the group describes as a grand objective, including the passage of Green New Deal legislation and dismantling what it calls the billionaire two-party system. Hold on just a second. All right. So before I go any further, I was telling y'all this morning during the morning brief about a friend of ours that had to go had a heart procedure done this morning. Uh, she's already been home. She's already had it done, and she had just got home. So successful. Thank y'all for the prayers. Okay, uh, Richard, y'all know who she is too. Okay, so in a slide called "On the Road to Revolution," the group outlines the top three goals of phase one, which includes stop Trump's grip on power, build up mass non-cooperation with protests like May Day, which is May 1st, and use the 2026 midterms to build toward electoral breakthrough, win big. It says, scathing report reveals Antifa-linked organization passing out materials to K-12 students of political revolution. That the plan for phase two, which takes place in 2028, mass strikes, huge historic 2028 turnout for our candidate, the biggest tentpole of masses against Trump and his billionaires. Phase 3, political revolution, is planned for 2029 to 2031, and Phase 4 is 2032 and beyond, is titled The New System, which the presentation will include happiness. The materials highlight specific actions to target corporations, including hotel chains, one slide containing such as booking and canceling reservations at Hilton hotels as part of the broader pressure campaign, while another called on college students to push schools to cut ties with companies labeled as ICE enablers like Hilton in an effort to topple the corporate pillar. What they're basically doing is instituting an insurrection to topple our government and establish a communist dictatorship. That's exactly what they're doing. Y'all can read this if you want. It was published on April 8th, which was yesterday, at 11:10 a.m., right? This is serious. Take a look at those slides, and it'll explain everything, all right? Because that's scary, very scary. Very, very, very scary. All right. So just keep in mind, if you're watching this is Thursday, April 14th at Giovanni's in Coppers Cove at 6 p.m. is the Coppers Cove Conservative Club. And that's our monthly social. And we've invited Tully Meyer, Scott Weddle, Rob Irwin, Roger Miller, Justin Smith, and Ray Ashby to all do a meet and greet with us. So come on down and ask some questions to him and meet y'all's future legislators for the county, right? County commissioners and county judge. All right. So do I have any other questions for the day? Any questions? All right. So before I let you go, I got to let you know about my socials. I'm on X at James Pierce Jr. I'm on Facebook at James A. Pierce Jr. I'm on ScrewTube at the JP8 Report 67. And I'm on True Social at James A. Pierce. And then if you want to send me an email, it's jp8report@gmail.com. All right. So, man, a lot going on today. Have a great weekend, y'all. Okay. Tomorrow is another podcast. Don't forget about that. Okay. I will see y'all tomorrow morning, 6:30 to 7 for the morning brief. And then the last JP8 report for this week is at noon. And I hope everybody has a great day. And I will see y'all tomorrow morning. All right. So this is James Pierce with the JP8 report. I'll catch you on the flip side. I'm out.